It's been a while since I did one of my dumb argument videos. And what I mean by that is a video where I expose a dumb argument being passed around about Kyle Rittenhouse and the Kenosha shootings. Well, we came across a new one. It's been making rounds on Twitter and even on YouTube. And it goes like this. Kyle was an insurgent. I'm not joking. That's the argument. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
All right, here we go. Combat veteran here. Just a perspective. Oh, wait. I'm sorry, guys. I had formulated my entire argument thinking that this guy didn't know what he was talking about. But it turns out he's a combat veteran. Oh, my God. It's like he's like won the Nobel Prize in legal scholarship or something like that. So I guess we're going to have to start over again and take a fresh whack at this. So here we go. Combat veteran here. Just a perspective. If you arrive armed to a place where violence is happening, prepared for violence, and you engage in violence, there is no self-defense. Oh, really? I looked through the self-defense statutes pretty thoroughly on my show. In fact, I have about 12 videos on it, and I don't recall that ever being said. But it gets worse. You are, in fact, a willing combatant. Oh, I see. If you do this without being sanctioned by a government outside of a combat zone, you are also, in fact, a terrorist. I've already done a video on this dumb argument that Kyle was a terrorist. People who make that claim don't understand the definition of terrorism. A terrorist is a person who conducts violence in order to further some sort of ideology. And Kyle was ambushed, and so if he's a terrorist, that's a strange way of spreading his message. Again, people think that a terrorist is a person who causes terror. No, a terrorist is a person who uses violence as a political tool. But whatever the case, it's very clear that Kyle is in fact not a terrorist. What was his manifesto? Guarding property? Delivering first aid to protesters? That's a terrorist argument? I mean, come on. But it gets even better. We had another word for armed civilians operating outside the military as well. Insurgent. Hey, this is a perfect example of where being a combat veteran doesn't make you necessarily like a scholar, okay? An insurgent is a person who fights the government. Who here thinks that Kyle was fighting the government by going out on the street and protecting businesses? Even if you think he had no business being there. Even if you think that he was showing poor judgment, or even if you think that he was out there to hurt BLM protesters, it's not an insurgency. An insurgency is a movement against the government, authority, the police, the military. So, yeah. And he goes on, if your recourse to the terrorist is to look up the criminal history of the victims, it is no different than looking up the criminal past of everyone that died on 9/11 in order to justify the hijackers. That's right. Kyle is just like one of the hijackers that flew the plane into the World Trade Center. Yeah. And the amazing thing about it is that the anti-Kyles just laud over this and they pass this thing around. I mean, do they ever read this and think, while it might sound good, I don't think any of this is really true. Yeah, Kyle, 9/11 terrorist. They're the same. There's no difference between the two. All right. Again, I have an entire series of videos called Dumb Arguments. It's all about the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and there's about 80 of them. That's how many dumb arguments they keep forwarding. And I have another one coming up here pretty soon that I should have published by tonight. If you come across this image on social media, just tell the people that I'm sorry, but it makes no sense at all. Oh, and by the way, Kenneth Ray, thank you for your service, but I'm sorry, it doesn't make you an expert. Like my videos, subscribe to my channel.